Yes, now people, what's good? Everyday Superpower signing in. Today I'm going to talk about narcissism. I know, or I knew, a narcissist, right? A covert narcissist. Now, whether you believe narcissism is actually a habit or not trait, or whether you believe that narcissism is actually a spectrum, which I sway more to, with narcissism on one end and empathy upon the other. I knew a covert narcissist. Now, I more than likely have known multiple covert narcissists and probably still associate with some potentially unknowingly at this point in my life. But this person was sinister, okay? So, I've read a couple of books, I've heard a couple of opinions, and something that stuck with me, which I will apply in relation to this relationship I had with this person, and understanding of this person, and sort of removal of the mask of this person, is they were devilish, okay? Some people call narcissists demonic, right? And for the most part, they're quite funny because they don't tend to get along too well with society. They don't tend to blend in too well. At least the overt ones don't. And when it comes to the covert ones, sometimes word ends up getting around and, they find themselves diminished from, friendship circles and so forth. With ease, really. Sorry, I was just paying attention with what was going on behind me. But this individual is loved by all. And I thought this individual was a good person, right? But this person would always make digs at me, but not a dig in a passive-aggressive. Well, let's tell the truth, it was, but it never seemed that way. It was so minute, but it existed, right? And it was painful. It was like being killed slowly with someone just daggering a spoon into you, a blunt spoon, right? And nobody else could see it. Everybody else was blinded by the magic that this magician was performing, right? It was all an act. Now let's talk about this individual. Before we go into the examples, let's talk about this individual social group, right? So I was partially involved with the social group, at least momentarily, yeah. I've since removed myself from the majority of people, as it was a very negative space. I was a negative person. I spent, I didn't have a terrible youth, but I had enough go wrong that I ended up being, a negative teenager. I got into negative music, and they were my people, right? So by default, there was a lot of negative energy around this space. So I participated in this group. Now my group knew another group. We entwined to whichever degree, and this person I'm speaking of was involved in the other group, right? Everyone loved them. Everybody, still to this day. And now I understand it when it comes to narcissistic abuse in relationships, and how others see the victim as the problem, and how the whole gaslighting thing goes on. I never understood it until I was put in this situation. So this individual would attack me through joke, right? In front of others, as well as on a one-to-one basis. And maybe not even joking sometimes. So, oh, look at so-and-so. Doesn't he look tired? Ha ha ha. You know what I mean? And he was such a buoyant, upbeat person, or at least his mask was, right? That was just him. But what he was doing was not joking. It was attracting attention to me and putting himself in a position of power above me. I didn't need that attention from everyone else purely for the fact I looked tired. Do you know where I'm coming from? I happened to bump into this person in the library. I got a lot of projects going on, right? As you can see by this YouTube channel, I like to just do stuff. I like to create, right? I've got a creative mind. I come up with a new idea, a new project, something to work on. Comes up to me within a month or two of establishing this ground, and he just says, "Oh, why aren't you successful yet?" In a way that was meant to superficially sort of showcase, "Oh man, you're so good, I care for you so much." But on the very low depths was a passive aggressive backhanded attack towards me. Because why haven't I been successful? It's because I'm not successful in that project. Do you see where I'm coming from? And this person would attach to me like a parasite. In groups, whenever this person was around, this person would attach to me. And I'll tell you what, later on, before the cutoff, before acknowledging this, before actually verbally stating this to the people around me who still never get it, I started to show disdain towards the person. Now, I don't know whether this was success on their end, slowly eating me away with their behaviour, or whether that was an acknowledgement that they were going too far and they were starting to expose themselves. I'll leave that to you to work out. But this person is a very upbeat person, a very happy person. Do you know them people who are so over the top? Now, I might do a video in regards to overcompensation, because what is too much tends to be the opposite, right? This person was just too happy all the time. And as the years have gone by, people this individual has associated with have started to drop like flies in many different odd ways. And what I mean by that is, I mean through health, through sanity, addiction. How is this individual the one upbeat, jolly character in a group of people whom are falling ill in a wealth of different ways? This person is a parasite, and nobody, right? Nobody picks up on it. I tried to keep myself composed and centered, but I had to have a word with an associate and tell them that person is the devil. And what do you tell them, right? Oh, he had a laugh and said I looked sleepy. Oh, he asked this and he said that. Because I've given you two examples, right? And how minute does that sound when you try to explain to somebody that they are a bad person, right? We have a gut feeling, an instinct, it's a survival mechanism. I don't want that person around, full stop. I do not want that person around. And when it comes to the gaslighting, I don't necessarily know the ins and outs of the terminology, but whether this works within the realms of what gaslighting is, right? I could open my mouth to this individual and say, you are taking the piss out of me. And I would question myself whether what I was saying was actually right. Whether I was being paranoid and approaching it in the wrong manner, right? So this is a secret, lowest key individual, a very uncanny individual who I haven't sort of come across in a long while. I've come across some bad people who've made bad decisions and have a toxic air to them that you just can't trust them. But this person really is something else, and I've never experienced anything like it before. A very demonic energy, okay? And I'm not a spiritual individual, right? But this is a demonic energy. And that's my experience with one covert narcissist in particular, the boldest one. And if you want to know what I did, I cut them off. I cut them the fuck off. These people, this person is still present, and this person still involves themselves with people I would be aware of. But if that person was present and available, I would go out of my way to not associate with anyone purely because of that parasite, right? So look, I become estranged from the group. Isn't that what was supposed to happen? Was that the intention? Was that the chess that was being played? Have you seen how these people play with your head, right? I try to be rational, but there's something incredibly uncomfortable with the actions of this individual. Something is not right. Something is not right, okay? And I'm signing out. If you've had any experiences with people, like anything to do with this, please let me know. And leave a comment down below if you think I'm going mad, or if you hear where I'm coming from. Because I'd like to know, and to be honest with you, any sort of support through any means, any sort of understanding, even if I am wrong, would be of benefit, because you can't really go and speak to people about this sort of stuff. Alright, I'm signing out. One love.